the vehicle, which is going to determine if the enforcement officer has the federal motor carrier regulation jurisdiction over you. Okay, check this out. Commercial motor vehicle, non-CDL. Okay, non-CDL. Just because you have a non-CDL driver's license doesn't mean they're not presuming that you're operating a commercial motor vehicle. Okay? In fact, they are actually assuming that you are actually operating a commercial motor vehicle. Okay? I'm going to show you. Let's start from the top. Vehicles not otherwise covered by definitions 3 or 4 in the commercial motor vehicle section are considered to be commercial motor vehicles, but do not require that the driver possesses a valid commercial driver's license, CDL. Okay? Next line. Check individual state definition of commercial vehicles. Okay? And with your state DOT, Department of Transportation, to determine your exact status. Some states that require power vehicles to be licensed for gross combination weight when equipped for towing a trailer go by the licensed weight of the vehicle. You see that? The licensed weight of the vehicle, and may consider a vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of less than 10,000 pounds to be a commercial. Okay? Even if it is not towing a trailer, if the license weight, if the license weight exceeds 10,000 pounds. Okay? Now check this out. Side note. Look what they have as a Class C. Now let's read the definition and see does this picture even relates to the definition. Okay? This is the usual kind of driver's license. It allows you to operate a vehicle with a gross weight rating of less than 26,000 pounds. Towing, okay? Towing a trailer not to exceed 10,000 pounds. Or a farm trailer with a gross vehicle weight rating that does not exceed 20,000 pounds. However, if you plan to operate such vehicle commercially, you must get a commercial driver's license Class C. Okay? Where do we see that at? Okay? Here's the back of my driver's license. Class C, single or combination vehicle. Okay? With gross vehicle weight rating less than 26,000 pounds, which transport place guarded hazmat for more than 16 passengers, including the driver. Okay? So, with this license, if I present or exhibit this license to any enforcement officer, automatically it tells them and the computer within the system that I am operating a commercial motor vehicle that's over 10,000 pounds. Okay? Even though it says less than 26,000 pounds, we already know that just leaves wiggle room, okay? For them to do that little con game. But play that little con game. But let's move on. Alright? We're gonna move on. Now again, guys, it is not about the license, it is about the particular vehicle that is being driven, okay? Class of Texas driver's license is determined by, you get that? Driver's license is determined, okay, by one, type of vehicle operated on Texas roadway, okay? Gross weight vehicle rating, okay? Gross vehicle weight rating of the vehicle or the gross combination weight rating of the vehicles towed, okay? Number of passengers the vehicle can hold. Again, number of passengers, 16, okay? It can hold. If I exhibit this driver's license automatically is telling the officer that my vehicle can hold 16 passengers or more. Okay, see that? The numbers of passengers. Okay, the gross weight vehicle is on there. Okay, okay, less than 26,000 pounds. Okay, but they cannot regulate under 10,000 pounds. So that's a 16 pounds difference. 16,000 pound difference. Okay, if they have room to wiggle with, leave them some wiggle room for that con game. Okay, again, now, check this out. Okay, this is from the Federal Register. Okay, commercial motor vehicle. Okay, regulatory guidance for 49 CFR 383.91, commercial motor vehicle groups. Okay, question 1. May a state expand a vehicle group to include vehicles that do not meet the federal definition of group? Of course they can. Of course. When you register your automobile, they expand it. Okay? They expand your vehicle, your automobile into the groups. Okay? They included it into the groups. Okay? Yes, if a person who tests in a vehicle that does not meet the federal standards for for the groups. You get that? A person who tests in a vehicle that does not meet the federal standards for the group. Okay? Did you go and do your driver's test in your vehicle that did not meet the federal standards for class A, B, or C? I'm sure you did. Okay? Okay, it's easy, guys. It's simple. Just gotta understand what's going on. Okay, now another prize. Now, I got this source from the Texas Municipal Court Administration. Okay, got it from the website. Now, you guys go read it yourself. Okay, gave you the source. Now, scenario 1: CDL holder is issued a traffic citation for DWI in his what? Private vehicle. Prosecutor reviews the record and determines that there is a problem with the evidence and decides not to prosecute the case. So no charges are filed with the court. No conviction entered. Okay? A scenario, the response from the Federal Motor Car Safety Administration: no violation of 49 CFR 383-384. The federal CDL regulation requires convictions as defined by 383.5. Okay? In this case, the evidence did not support the burden of proof to be properly adjudicated by the prosecutor, and there were no accepted actions taken to otherwise circumvent. Okay, they tried to get around it, but they couldn't. The regulations, i.e., no masking or diversion of the offense or penalty. So they played by the book. There was no masking. Okay, if you guys don't know what masking is, you should go do a little bit more homework. All right, simple, guys. Private vehicle, but it was a CDL holder. Okay, who's a CDL holder? Now, from Title 49, Transportation. Okay, interstate commerce. Interstate transportation. Okay, carrier. Okay, attention. I'm sure you got it. Proof beyond proof. Okay, now. And not using in furtherance of private commercial. Okay? People have to really understand what they are reading. Okay? Private. You have public, you have private. Excuse me. You have common carrier, you have private carrier. Okay? Case law to back it up in a minute. Now, let me get to the good part. We're gonna get to the good part. Now, motor carrier. The term motor carrier means a person, okay, providing motor vehicle transportation for compensation. Okay? Pay attention. Motor private carrier. Private use, common use. Okay? It's all still commerce. Okay? The term motor private carrier means a person other than a motor carrier transporting property by motor vehicle when A, the transportation is provided in section 13501 of this title. B, the person is the owner, lessee, or bailee of the property being transported, and meaning it has to go together, okay? C, property is being transported for sale, lease, rent, or buildings, or to further a commercial enterprise. Okay? Again, motor vehicle. The term motor vehicle means a vehicle, machine, tractor, trailer, or semi-trailer, propelled. Propelled means drive, okay? Or drawn. Drawn means tow, okay? By mechanical power and used, okay? And used. What you're going to use it? You're going to use it as a common carrier or a private carrier, okay? On the highway in transportation, okay? Now, what is transportation? Remember, guys, transportation does not mean commerce. Commerce means transportation. So if you are in transportation, by definition, you are in commerce and further in commercial enterprise. Okay? It's just that simple. Now, the term transportation includes what? A motor vehicle. Okay? A vessel, warehouse, wharf, pier, dock, yard, property, facility, instrumentality, or equipment of any kind related to the movement of passengers or property or both, regardless of ownership or agreement concerning use. Okay? Whether it's private or common. Okay? And remember, when they use the word and, A and B has to go together. Okay? Services. Okay? There it is. Services related to that movement, including arranging for, okay, receipt, okay, for delivery of who? Passengers or property. Elevation of property, transfer and transit, property, refrigeration, property, icing, property, ventilation, property, storage, property, handling, property, package, property, unpacking, property, and interchange of passengers and property. Okay? It has to be a service. Jeez. Now, case law to back it up. Barber versus Walker. Okay? And quote, the right of a citizen to travel, okay, upon the highway. We're not going to travel on feet on the highway. We're not going to travel by plane on the highway. Okay? We all know what they're getting to. Okay? Stop acting like that, y'all. The right of a citizen to travel upon the highway and transport his property thereon in the ordinary course of life and business differs radically and obviously from that of one who makes the highway his place of business and uses it for private gain. Okay? Remember you have private, common. Okay? In the running of a stagecoach or omnibus. Okay? The former, okay? Former means first, latter means second, okay? The former which means the right of a citizen to travel upon the highway. Okay? Travel is the former. Okay? The former is the usual and ordinary right of a citizen, a common right. Okay, guys? A common right. A right common to all. Wow. The latter. Okay? Remember, the latter is the second. Okay? Travel is the former. Okay? And it differs radically, obviously, from that of one who makes the highway his place of business, which is the latter. Okay? Speaking about the latter. Okay? Remember, the former is the travel, and the latter is the business, commercial. Okay? Now, while the latter is special, unusual, and extraordinary, okay? As to the former, which is the first, okay, guys, travel. As to the former, the extent of legislative power is that of regulation, okay? But as to the latter, remember, the latter is the private businessman. As to the latter, its power is broader. The right may be wholly denied, or it may be permitted to some and denied to others because of its extraordinary nature. Okay, guys? This distinction, elementary, that's funny, and fundamental in character, is recognized by all authorities. So why is it not elementary to let's not get into that. Okay, guys? A distinction must be made between the general use, which of all the public are permitted to make of the streets for ordinary purpose, not extraordinary, and the special and particular use, which is made by classes A, B, or C, persons in the pursuit of their occupation or business, such as hitmen, drivers of express wagons, omnibuses, etc. Okay? Goes on and on. Okay, guys? The rule must be considered settled that no person can acquire the right to make a special or exceptional use of a public highway not common to all citizens of the state. You remember, when it comes to the word use, whether it's private or common. Okay, guys? Not ordinary, not general. Private or common. Private is commerce, common is commerce. Okay? Now, not common to all citizens of the state except by grant from the sovereign power. Okay? Case law, back that up. This principle has been applied many times. Okay? And in many other cases, they're cited, including ex parte Dickey. Yada yada. Read on. Now, you guys read on. I'm going to move to the next. Okay, here's a case law that the state lost back in 1933, I believe, 1946. Okay. Yes. The state actually lost this case. And I'm going to show y'all why they lost it. I'm going to show y'all why they had to change, the word driver and operator to actually be interchangeable. Because prior to this case law right here, they were not interchangeable. But now, I'm going to show you guys. Alright, check it out. Under the Driver's License Act, it is unlawful for any person to drive or operate, okay guys, operate a motor vehicle over a highway of Texas without having a license, either as an operator, a commercial operator, or a chauffeur, okay? But one holding a license as a commercial operator or a chauffeur is not required to have an operator's license. Okay? Driver's License Act. Information. This is the information they're going to use against you. Okay? Information alleging that the defendant operated a motor vehicle upon the public highway without a driver's license charged no offense under Driver's License Act, since a driver's license is not known to the law because the Act only authorizes insurance of operators, commercial operators, and chauffeur's license, and use of the term driver interchangeably with term operator would not be authorized in view of definition in the Act of term driver as meaning every person who drives or is in actual physical possession of a vehicle. Okay? Okay. Now, gonna go. Now, the conviction is for operating a motor vehicle upon a highway without a license. The punishment, a fine of $50. Which back then, $50 was a lot of money. Okay? But what is commonly referred to as the Driver's License Act and appearing as Article 6687B of Vernon's annotated civil statute, the legislator of this state provided for the license of operators of motor vehicles over the public highways of this state. Section 2 of Article 2 of the Act reads as follows. Drivers must have a license. Okay? A, and no persons except those hereinafter expressly exempt shall drive any motor vehicle upon a highway in this state unless such person has a valid license as an operator, a commercial operator, or a chauffeur under provisions of this act. Okay? Okay? Any person, B, any person holding a valid chauffeur or commercial operator's license hereunder need not procure an operator's license. Okay? C, no person holding an operator's, commercial operator, or chauffeur's license duly issued under the provisions of this act shall be required to obtain any license for the operation of a motor vehicle from any other state authority or department. Okay? Now, it is by these statutes, okay, made unlawful for any person to drive or operate a motor vehicle over the highways of the state without having a license, either as an operator, a commercial operator, or a chauffeur. One, holding a license as a commercial operator or chauffeur is not required to have an operator's license. Okay, guys? Now, let's keep reading on it. The information upon which this conviction was predicated alleged that appellant did then and there unlawfully operate a motor vehicle upon a public highway, to wit, State Highway number 24, without a driver's license. Okay? It is insisted that the information charge no offense because a driver's license is neither recognized nor authorized to be issued under the Act, and by reason thereof, it constitutes no offense to drive a motor vehicle without a license. Without such license. All right? Only 3 types of license are authorized or required under the Act. These are operators, commercial operators, and chauffeurs. And they are especially defined in the Act. The term driver, as used in the Act, is defined to be every person who drives or is in actual physical control of a vehicle. In the view of this particular definition of the term driver, it cannot be said that such term may be used interchangeably with or given the same meaning as the term operator. Okay? In view of this particular definition of the term driver, it cannot be said that such term may be used interchangeably with or given the same meaning as the term operator. There being no such license as a driver's license known to the law, it follows that the information in charging the driver of a motor vehicle upon a public highway without a license charged no offense. Okay? Now, again, operator, driver. It cannot be used interchangeably back then. Why? If you go back and read up and read the actual law, it'll tell you that you didn't need a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle. Okay, the words are not interchangeably. However, in the case Newbill versus Union Indemnity Company, it is stated it will be observed from the language of the ordinance that that a distinction is to be drawn between the terms quote operator unquote and quote driver unquote. The quote operator unquote of a service car being the person who is licensed to have the car upon the streets in the business of carrying passengers for hire, while the driver, quote and unquote, is the one who actually drives the car. However, in the actual prosecution of the business, it was possible for the same person to be both operator and driver. You see? And there were undoubtedly many instances where such a situation existed. Okay? This is amazing. Because if you're in transportation, you are in service. Okay? You are indeed in service. Okay? And services. They fixed that. I'm going to show y'all. Now here's a case, Wagner versus State. Okay? Wagner versus State. In here, he claimed to be a sovereign citizen, secured party creditor, and his basically his claim was without merit, in which I agree. You know, if you cannot prove that the statute is unconstitutional, then none of what you're doing is going to work out. It has to be within statutory requirements. You know, that is the key. Now, again, Wagner versus State. He tried the same thing, guys. He tried to use the same case law, which is the Hassel versus State. Okay? But this is why it did not work for them, because Texas went back and changed some things in their transportation code. Okay? Check it out. In the county court, Wagner argued that a driver's license is not required, and he cited 4 cases from the Court of Criminal Appeals which stated that a driver's license is not known to Texas law. Okay, so he cited the Hale versus Hassel versus State. Okay, he cited this case law. Okay, to try to prove his case. Then, even though Hassel won his case, he tried to use Hassel's case to win his case. Okay. Now, again, in the county court, Wagner argued that a driver's license is not required, and he cited 4 cases from the Court of Criminal Appeals which stated that a driver's license is not known to Texas law, and therefore a charging instrument that alleged a person had driven a motor vehicle on the highway without a driver's license did not charge no offense. See Callis versus State. Okay. The court has held that there is no such license known to Texas law as a driver's license. Hassel versus State. So we tried to use Hassel versus State. Okay. Noted that Driver License Act in effect at the time authorized 3 types of licenses: operators, commercial operators, and chauffeurs, but did not define driver's license. Therefore, charging instrument that charged the driving of a motor vehicle upon a public highway without a driver's license charged no offense. See, Also, Campbell versus State. Okay, that's another case law. Now, at the time the Court of Criminal Appeals issued these opinions, the pertinent statute requiring a license to operate a motor vehicle on Texas highways referred to an operator's license, quote, not a driver's license. The current statute in the Texas Transportation Code, including Section 521.021, requiring a license generally, and Section 521.457, prohibiting driving while a license is invalid. Both refer to driver's license. See Texas Transportation Code 521.21. A person other than a person expressly exempt under this chapter may not operate a motor vehicle on the highway in this state unless the person holds a driver's license issued under this chapter. Okay? Now, the term operate means to perform a function, work. Anytime you operate anything, you are labeled as an operator. Okay? You are employed by an employer, master servant, or principal agent. Okay? The term operation means employment, work. It's just that simple, people. 521.457A4. A person commits an offense if the person operates a motor vehicle on a highway after renewal of the person's driver's license has been denied under any law of the state. Texas, therefore, recognizes the existence of a driver's license. Okay? Wagner contends that Section 521.457 is unconstitutional because it infringes upon his constitutional right to travel. Courts have regularly concluded that this argument is not meritorious. Okay? It's not meritorious. It has no merit. Okay, guys? So, y'all read on from there. I'm about to show you another right to travel confirmation. Okay? This guy here, he failed miserably. Alright? I'm about to go back a little bit. I'm going to back up a little bit. While in that case, neither the right of private use, remember guys, private use, nor the principle of public convenience, okay, public use, and necessity as the measure of such use, okay, were present, yet, under the reasoning of the court, there would seem to be no good ground where private use would tend to be inimical to the public, meaning harmful to the public good, as would be inevitable without regulation, to deny the power of the state to measure the extent of that use, okay, whether it's private or common, by the convenience of the public and the necessity for transportation facilities. Okay, guys? Now, we're going to keep reading. Okay? In the law involved, the state, in its sovereign capacity, was dealing with a subject over which it appears to us in every view of this case, view of the case, it had control. Okay? They have control over private use. They have control over common public use. Okay? Okay. When they say use, it's commercially. Okay? Whether you use it commercially or private, commercially, still commercial. Okay? In the construction and maintenance of the highways now available to the traveling public. Okay, guys, traveling public. The state has expended millions of dollars and is still continuing to cobweb the state with hard-surfaced highways for the accommodation and convenience of her citizens and all those who find it convenient to pass her way. In the enactment of this legislation, no rights of any of her citizens have been contravened, violated. For the law does not restrict the common right of the citizen to use the public highways for what? Purpose of travel. And it does not, and it does not comport, meaning it does not harmonize with reason to say that the use of them for private gain, commercial, may be exercised alike by all, as it is certain that such a situation will never arise. Okay, they'll never let anyone use the highway for private gain. Okay, it will not harmonize the purpose of travel. Okay, you can travel all you want to. Okay, but situation like using it for private gain will never arise. Okay? Okay, y'all read. Okay? Now, this all I'm gonna do for now, man. And read up. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you have any rebuttals, put it in the comment section. Now, since people really believe that they are in a motor vehicle, let me show and prove why I am not in a motor vehicle when I travel amongst the public. Okay? The big three: registration, inspection, and financial responsibility requirements. Okay? That's all that matters. Alright? Again, it is the type of vehicle that you register your automobile under that's going to determine whether or not your vehicle is classified in any of those groups. However, remember that they can expand, your automobile into their group, A, B, or C. Okay. We do it voluntarily, so we literally handed over the bill of lading to them, which is a receipt. Okay. Let me show you. Now, it's a bit small, but I'm gonna blow it up. Okay, these are all the motor vehicles to be registered. Okay, you got the general rule, which is let me blow this up. Transportation Code 502.40. Motor vehicles, trailers, and semi-trailers must be registered within 30 days after purchasing a vehicle or becoming a Texas resident. Okay, a motor vehicle. The question is, what is a motor vehicle? Okay, this is the grand finale. I'm going to prove once and for all that I do not drive a motor vehicle. Now, you got golf carts, motorcycles. For those of you who want to know the source, here's the source. Prepared by the Texas Municipal Courts Education Center. Okay, funded by a grant from the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. All right, now. Here's all your vehicles, okay? They have to be, or not have to be, registered. All right? Now, we're going to zoom in. You got to get a good look at this. Okay. Fix this a little bit. All right, now. You have 3 classes of motor vehicle, guys. Okay, 3 classes: 601, 541, 502. Okay. Now, we're concentrating on 502, right? Means a vehicle that is self-propelled. Okay? Motor vehicle, again, means a vehicle that is self-propelled in the 502.001. Right? Now, passenger car, passenger vehicle. Okay? Passenger car 541.201 means a what? Motor vehicle. Right? Other than a motorcycle. Right? Used to transport persons and designed to accommodate 10 or fewer passengers, including the operator. Okay? 10 or fewer passengers. Now, if you go on the internet and try to find you a vehicle that accommodates 10 or fewer passengers, this is what you're going to come up with. The best 10 passenger vehicles. Okay? Now, you guys do your own research, but I guarantee you, if you keep going through this list, you'll see that these are the vehicles that hold 10 or fewer passengers. Ask yourself, why did you assign yourself to be a driver of one of these? Mind you, your driver's license is the evidence, okay, that your vehicle is classified as being a passenger car that holds 10 or fewer passengers, including the operator. Okay? Because your license plate is attached to your license. Your license is attached to your license plate. Therefore, it becomes a license plate. Okay? So the moment they type those numbers and letters in their computer, it signifies that the operator's vehicle actually accommodates 10 or fewer passengers. So therefore, the officer should be looking at vehicles such as these. Okay? But your license plate that's on your car in the computer is describing you as driving or operating one of these. Okay? And we're going to go to transportation code 502, registration of vehicles. Okay? Now, let's find an automobile somewhere in here. I guarantee you, you won't find your automobile, your 1 to 6 or 7 passenger automobile is nowhere in here. So why would you think that you are required to register your automobile to be a motor vehicle? Okay, a passenger car. Okay, now here's the passenger car. Okay, has the meaning assigned by section 541. Okay, let's go to 541. Vehicles. Okay, see if you can find it. Passenger car means a motor vehicle other than a motorcycle used to transport persons. Okay, again, transport persons and designed to accommodate 10 or fewer passengers, including the operator. Okay? Come on, people. Come on, people. I'll rest my case. Like, share, subscribe, comment. please do leave a comment. Any rebuttal, throw them in the comments. Peace. Oh, and one more thing. Who's your employer? Again, from the Federal Register. Employer responsibilities. Question 1. If an individual driver had 2 convictions for serious traffic violations while driving a CMV, and neither the FMCSA nor his/her state licensing agency took any disqualification action, does the motor carrier have any obligation under FMCSA regulations to refrain from using the driver for 60 days? If so, when does that time period begin? Guidance. No. The motor carrier's responsibility. Who's the motor carrier? FMCSA. Okay? The motor carrier's responsibility under 383.37, the motor carrier, the FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, has a responsibility under 383. Okay? The motor carrier is FMCSA. Okay? Again, the motor carrier's responsibility under 383.37A to refrain from using the driver begins only when it learns a disqualification action imposed by who? Their employer, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or the state agency, and continue until the disqualification period set by the state or Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is completed. Okay? They are the employer. You are the employee. If you identify yourself as a driver, okay, of a passenger car. Alright? Case dismissed.
Good stuff right there by Informtive Product. You know, I'd like to meet this gentleman, find out who he is. Yeah, he comes across with some good information. Again, you know, this is information that I've already discussed with you people, and this is just getting the same information from a different perspective. You know, I like the fact that in his presentation he included the Federal Motor Code, FMCSA, what I've been discussing with you guys all the time, who is your employer, and etc. So, you know, it goes to say for all you trolls, haters, and traitors out there, you know, you can say what you want, but you can't dispute the facts. You know, Fiddletown, yeah, this goes out to you, baby. You need to watch this video, Fiddletown, because you have no standing. Everything you argue is in the commercial sense. Commerce, you know. Commerce, by definition, also means transportation. But transportation or transit does not mean commerce, okay? It means commercial activity. So with that being said, you know, just like the gentleman said in this video, you know, there is no law that states that you have to register a vehicle under a certain passenger rating. He just proved it. He showed you. And he's showing you this from the federal motor codes and a lot of the Texas codes. However, I guarantee you and promise you that you could take that Texas motor code that they have and any state's motor code, and I'm almost willing to bet you and promise you that every single code comes in compliance with the FMCSA. It comes in compliance with the Federal Motor Code Title 49. And it's not that I promise you, it's a fact. There's no exceptions. There's no state exempt from having to do this. You know, all motor codes have to be in compliance with the Federal Motor Code, period. End of story. Travel, as he mentioned, and he read the case to you. has always been alright. And the case, it's interesting, Fiddletown, that you mentioned the case where the court said this, the court said that about not being able to use your own conveyance and all this. And that's funny because he just read a case that contradicted exactly what you just said. The same case that I was going to bring about to you, he read it. And it says exactly the opposite of what you said. So therefore, you're just one of those trolls who does what a lot of the sovereigns do, and you amended the case to fit your agenda. And just like you was talking about the what was that case? Hang on. I wanna make sure that I get this right, because apparently you don't understand something, Fiddletown. You don't comprehend what you read. So Robertson versus Department of Public Works, 180 Washington, 13339 P F2D 596 1934. This case, remember this? Remember this case right here? Remember that, Fiddletown? Yeah, this is for you, Fiddletown. This case right here. I'm also going to point out a little thing for you to remind you and show you something of what the case said right here. It says right here, coming from the Superior Court, it was affirmed. Okay? And yes, you was right. Tolman, there it goes right there. See it? Bills, CJ, Tolman, and Holcomb, JJ, dissent from the original opinion that was handed down from this guy, Blake. Okay? That guy, Blake, right there. Him. Okay? So, when Blake handed down his opinion, apparently you don't know and understand that it is the overall opinion that wins cases. Not just one judge's opinion. That's not how it works. The majority. Okay? Now you saw it said affirmed right there. I told you this in the comment that I made to you, that the courts affirmed it. Hang on. Here's Justice Tolman's answer. As you said, he dissented. But here's his answer, right? Right here. Right where my finger's at. Can you see that? Can you see that there, buddy? Yeah, it says reversed. Okay? Justice Tolman reversed the affirmed decision on that case. He reversed it, you moron. So next time you want to come at me with something, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about. Because like I said, I copy the cases straight out the books. Whereas you guys go online and you get them, and you think that those cases on there are the cases. I get them right out the books. So Justice Tolman actually reversed the affirmed decision, and for your information, everything that he said in his dissent is law, you dummy. It doesn't matter whether the original case won or not. It's what the Supreme Court Justice decision, what his opinion says. That's the law. The outcome of the case doesn't matter. It's what the judge said. And the judges all oh, that's the part I was going to show you. That's the part I was going to show you, because apparently you failed to understand that part too. So let me show you that part. Where it says on here, I meant to show you that and I forgot. So let me bring it up for you now. Yeah. Huh. Right there. What does that say? That says that bills. Let's see if I can get it in there to get focused, because I don't want you to say that I'm bullshitting you. Okay, there it goes. Bill CJ and Holcomb J concur with Toman. Oh, there he goes. Appealed from should be reversed. What? What? No, that didn't say that, did it? Being convinced that the department misapplied the statute under the, well, my camera's acting up, but the statute under the facts of the case, it is my, I don't know why this is acting up. I don't understand why it's not wanting to focus in on what I'm trying to read right here. Okay. Okay, well anyway, it says this. Being convinced that the department misapplied the statute under the facts of this case, it is my view that the judgment appealed from should be reversed. I do not suggest that the department has acted with an evil eye or intentionally with an unequal hand, but it seems evident that in this instance it did overlook the well-established law that even the police power must be administered impartially. Whoopsie. See, you forgot about that part of the case. You also forgot about the part of the case where Justice Toman mentioned that travel is a right. You forgot to mention that, because he actually does mention that. Travel is a right. It's always been a right, bud. And the whole case in here, the interesting part about what you failed to understand or read was so I'm going to read part of his Justice Tolman's dissent. The state may regulate all such operations by general rules applicable to all like use of the highways, but it may not arbitrarily forbid or prohibit any such uses where Sears, Roebuck and Company has hired the appellant on terms presumably satisfactory to it to operate his own truck and carrying merchandise between Olympia and Aberdeen. There is no finding suggesting or proof that the operation causes any undue congestion of traffic or that traffic conditions are such that this service calls for anything other than our general traffic regulations, which are already in force. Which, again, they're talking about speed limits, stop signs, traffic lights. That's what he's talking about. Appellant, as the employee of Sears, Roebuck and Company, asks for a permit, complies with the law, and pays the fee. The department makes no attempt to regulate the proposed operations, does not find that the regulation is required, but denies the application outright, thus denying to the employer the use of the highways to transport his goods through, though he has hired employees upon terms mutually satisfactory to them. This is a direct discrimination not only against the appellant but against his employer, denying the right to use of the highways to each of the terms upon which all others freely use it. We cannot construe this act as authorizing any such result without rendering it unconstitutional. The situation is not affected by the words of the statute declaring such use of the highways to be affected with a public interest. In the recent and much cited case of Nubia, people of the state of New York, the federal Supreme Court said that the phrase affected with a public interest can, in the natural of things, mean no more than that. An industry, for adequate reason, is subject to control for the public good. Now, I'm not sure which part of that you didn't understand, but industry, okay? It says industry. Again, Fiddletown, you have no merit in your argument, brother. You might want to go back and learn how to discern the difference between private travel, okay, and commercial travel. They're two totally different things. One. Two, there's common carrier, private carrier. Okay? Two, and they're commercial, both of them. Okay? Anything and everything coming out of the DMV is to travel in commerce, to operate in commerce. And again, like I told you, if you don't know what the definition of commerce means, look it up. Because you obviously don't. And you're not understanding that the term commerce means to do business or trade. So there's that. Now if you want to go and be the one to register your vehicle with the DMV and register it, you go right ahead, because all you're doing is registering your vehicle as a business, your residence as a business, and you gave the state an interest. You can go right ahead and be that one to do that. You and all the rest of you that do it. So, but hey, like I said, that's what this channel's for. It's for all you haters, traitors, and constitutional, haters, trolls, and traitors. This channel's for you guys, because hopefully by the end of time, y'all learn something. But apparently you haven't. See, when they keep talking, when they're referring to, okay, so here you go. No private business can exist or be profitable except through the free use of the highways. To cut off the ingress and egress by public highways would extinguish all businesses, and hence all business use of the highways for profit, in the same sense that the shipper who employs the appellant uses them. Appellant is but the employee, the agent or the servant of the shipper, and his use is that of his employer. All such use is effected with a public interest, so far as all if the definition of a controlled hauler continued in section 1 of the act had been, wait a minute, I think I just messed up with that. Give me a second, let me look that up again. Hang on a minute, give me a second. I think I just skipped a page. I think I read that backwards. And the funny thing is about that, what I was just reading to you was actually going into what I was getting ready to say, but for some reason oh well, anyway, you claim that you've read this case, so obviously you didn't read the case, because FMCSA is wrote all over this case. Alright, the speed, the weight, all that is all mentioned within that case. So I made a blooper, and the blooper wasn't in reference to anything that you were talking about. It was just that I was reading something, I turned the page and accidentally flipped to the wrong page. So being that this video is as long as it is, I'm not even going to take the time to go through it and look at it, because I don't feel that your argument is meritful. You don't have any merit with your argument. Again, you're arguing what you're arguing, and you're not realizing that you're arguing all cases that are in reference to commercial. You're not once during your whole little rant and citing all those state case laws, did you mention one case that addressed the right to private travel in a personal automobile? Not once. None of the cases that you cited mentioned that at all. So there's that. And that's the whole point, because you seem to be wanting to do like the courts do and play dumb and act like you don't understand the question, because courts were trained to do that. The courts were trained to act as if they don't understand the question that is being presented towards them when they come across the terms traveler, driver, operator, commercial motor vehicle, vehicle, okay, or automobile for that matter. So to keep you in the light of things, all those terms that I just said, for the exception of automobile, which automobile is actually included as well, based on the fact that if you're using an automobile for that of personal gain on the highway, that automobile then gets reclassified as a motor vehicle. It's in the law. So anyway, like I said, this video done got too long. This is Dark Angel. Deuces.